All right, today we're going to dive into an idea that might just change the way you think about music forever. We're going to uncover what the real foundation of musical talent is, and I'll bet it's not what you think. So let me just ask you, straight up, what do you think is a musician's most important instrument? When you picture someone making music, what's the key tool they're using? Is it the guitar, the piano, the drums? Take a second and think about it. Okay, so if you thought of a physical instrument, something you hold or sit at, well, you're not wrong, but you're not getting to the heart of it. The real answer is something way more fundamental, something we're all born with. And here it is, the source material we're looking at calls it the inner instrument. And what's that? It's your ears. The whole idea here is that listening isn't just something you do passively. No, it's an active skill. It's the first and most important instrument you have to learn to play. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. It makes perfect sense. A painter has to learn how to really see light and shadow and color before they can even think about putting paint on a canvas. And it's the exact same thing with music. The journey always starts with learning how to truly hear. So let's get into our first big idea here. Learning music is almost exactly like learning to speak. A little kid listens for months, even years, absorbing the sounds and rhythms of language before they ever say a word or read a sentence. And in music, your ears, that inner instrument, have to do the same thing. They have to learn the vocabulary of notes and chords first. Okay, so this all sounds great, right? But if your ear is an instrument, how in the world do you practice it? How do you take this kind of abstract idea of oral skills and make it something you can actually work on? Well, that's where some really specific exercises come in. So here we go. Think of these as workouts for your ears. First up, listen and copy. Can you hear a little melody and sing or play it back? That builds your musical memory. Then there's spot the error, which is all about training your brain to catch when something's just a little bit off. Fill in the gaps teaches you to predict musical patterns, kind of like finishing a sentence. And finally, identify the chord is like learning the basic grammar of harmony. These aren't just boring drills, they're the real deal. And here's where it gets really, really cool. Because training your ears, that doesn't just make you a better musician. The skills you build have this incredible ripple effect that touches pretty much every other part of your life, especially at school. I mean, just look at how these skills map directly to other things. That listen and copy skill, that's the exact same muscle you use to remember and follow multi-step instructions from a teacher. Spot the error sharpens your focus and critical thinking, which is crucial for editing an essay or analyzing a science experiment. And fill in the gaps, that pattern recognition is the absolute foundation of math, coding, and even learning a new foreign language. It's all connected. Now, this is a really important point. We have to acknowledge that this traditional way of ear training, well, it isn't for everybody. And that's okay. People's brains are wired differently, and we need to honor all the different ways we process sound. You see, for some folks, struggling with this stuff isn't about not trying hard enough. There are real neurological conditions like amusia, where your brain can't process pitch, or auditory processing disorders that scramble how you hear things. Just understanding that this is a possibility is a huge step toward being a more supportive teacher or parent. And this is just a brilliant solution. It shows how we can shift our whole approach. Instead of asking a student, "What do you hear?" which relies completely on their auditory system, we can ask, "How do you execute this instruction?" This flips the script and plays to their cognitive and analytical strengths instead. This alternative method has a name. It's called description-based performance. And it's pretty much what it sounds like. You translate the sheet music into a clear set of logical instructions, almost like a recipe or a line of code. This way, a student can use their awesome reading and problem-solving skills to play music beautifully, even if traditional ear training is a challenge for them. So you're probably wondering, how can I start doing this? Well, the great news is you don't need a fancy music studio. You can start training that inner instrument right at home with some really simple and honestly really fun activities. Oh, these are fantastic. You can play a game of traffic light listening, paying attention to when a song gets louder or softer. Or how about a simple rhythm clap back? I clap a pattern, you clap it back. That's a fun version of listening copy. Heck, even just marching or dancing around the living room to a song's beat helps you internalize that pulse. It feels like a game, but it's actually serious training.
So when you boil it all down, here's the big takeaway. It doesn't matter if you're trying to play an instrument, write a song, or just get more out of your favorite music. The depth of that experience, all of it, starts with your ability to listen. Training your ears is the true foundation for absolutely everything else in music.
And that kind of leaves us with one last big question to chew on, right? If this kind of deep, active listening can unlock the entire world of music, just imagine what else we could master if we all just learned how to truly listen a little bit better. What about in our relationships, our jobs, or just how we learn about the world? Something to think about.